Good day, fellow Arsenal fans. I hope everyone is well. Um, yeah, some not so good news this morning, I'm afraid. Liverpool make approach to sign Victor Gyökeres ahead of Arsenal. Isn't this what we've been fearing? Arsenal, the penny pinchers that we always underbid, and someone else just comes and takes advantage of the hard work in negotiations that we've done. Same thing happened to Mudryk. I'll never forget that day. I personally think if Mudryk came to Arsenal, he would have been a superstar. But anyhow, let's get into the article. From the Metro, Liverpool make approach to sign Victor Gyökeres ahead of Arsenal. Liverpool have entered the race with Arsenal and Manchester United to sign Sporting Lisbon striker Victor Gyökeres, according to reports in Portugal. Arsenal and Man United have held extensive talks to sign Gyökeres this summer, but have yet to reach an agreement over a transfer fee with Sporting. Yep, that's Arsenal. Earlier this month, Arsenal Sporting Director Andrea Berta met with his counterpart at Sporting, Bernardo Palmeiro, in Menorca to discuss a deal for the striker, who ended last season with 54 goals in 52 appearances. However, Arsenal's initial offer, worth an estimated 46.8 million, plus a further 8.5 million in add-ons, was rejected. No kidding. I believe if they want you to pay something, you pay it. Especially when you're in Arsenal's position and you desperately need a striker. Desperately, like we've been screaming out to the heavens for how long now, just for a striker. And now you want to go and blow it. They're already busy blowing the deal for Sesko as well. Now they're going to go ahead and blow this one. So who are we going to end up with? Ollie Watkins. Can you believe it? Anyway, let's continue with the article. According to Correo de Maha, Liverpool are now targeting Victor Gyökeres as a potential replacement for Darwin Núñez, who has agreed to join Napoli, but a transfer fee has not been agreed between Liverpool and the Serie A champions yet. The report claims that Liverpool have approached Sporting to discuss a fee for Gyökeres, and the Portuguese club are demanding £68.1 million. Wow, why can't Arsenal just pay that now? Just say, okay, we'll give you the 68.1, done. Move on to the next target, which would be a left winger. Back to the article. Liverpool are said to view Gyökeres as a signing that will play a key role in helping the club retain the Premier League title next season, absolutely, as well as strengthen the squad for a strong Champions League push, absolutely, or most likely win the Champions League. I can't imagine Victor Gyökeres and Salah and Wirtz not being able to win a Champions League. Gyökeres has an £85.1 million release clause in his contract, but Sporting have been willing to sell the 27-year-old for lower than that amount. However, Sporting have been angered by suggestions that a set transfer fee have been agreed ahead of the summer transfer window, with the Portuguese club's president, Frederico Varandas, criticizing the striker's agent, saying that threats, blackmail, and insults don't work with me, Varandas has said. Yes, Varandas, but what you also have to understand is that Gyökeres, when signing his contract, the then president, the top G, promised him that. So you need to honor that, otherwise you look like an arsehole. 100%. Anyway, Varandas says, I can guarantee that Gyökeres will not leave for 51 million plus 8.5 million pounds, because I never promised him that. This game that the agent is playing only makes the situation worse. Reports in Portugal this week have claimed that Gyökeres is now ready to go on strike at Sporting in order to force through a move to Arsenal. It's understood that Mikel Arteta's side is Gyökeres' preferred destination, having also received strong interest from Man United, who are unable to offer the striker the prospect of playing in a European competition next season, and most likely the season after that. So there we have it, people. Victor Gyökeres is now in serious doubt, because let's face it, if Liverpool come calling, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Nothing. I don't want to watch you, Enrique. Cheers. All right, let's see. From the Football Talk, I did go through a few of these articles beforehand. I just don't want to read random bullshit and waste my time and waste yours. After all, that is the reason why I made this channel in the first place. I know us Arsenal fans are busy people. That's why I don't even put a lot of effort into these videos, to be honest with you. But at least you can see what I'm seeing. Anyway, back to this article. Arsenal make contact to seal surprise deal to sign Jadon Sancho. Shall we slit our wrists now or later? From Rodrigo, Gittins, Leao to Sancho. What the hell are we doing here? Back to the article. Arsenal have reportedly made contact over a surprise deal to sign Manchester United outcast Jadon Sancho, as per Court Offside publications. Having displayed impressive performances for Dortmund, the 25-year-old moved to Old Trafford for a big fee in 2021. However, he struggled to find his feet at the Red Devils before falling out with former manager Erik ten Hag, better known as Walter White. He spent the second part of the 2023-24 season out on loan at Borussia Dortmund, while Chelsea signed him on a loan deal with an obligation to purchase at the beginning of last term. Haha, why would they do that? I don't know. Chelsea do make horrendous transfer market decisions though. However, the Englishman's performances at Stamford Bridge was underwhelming, scoring just 5 goals and registering 8 assists in 41 appearances. Still, the West London club were ready to purchase him permanently, but couldn't manage to agree on personal terms with the Man United forward, so they have decided to send him back by paying a small penalty. Now Sancho is on the market once again, as Ruben Amorim's side are open to letting him leave despite changing the manager. Court Offside claimed that Arsenal are interested in the forward and have made contact to learn about the details of the signing. Okay. However, they have stepped up efforts to seal the deal. They haven't stepped up efforts to seal the deal yet, Arsenal, thank God. While Napoli, Fenerbahce and Borussia Dortmund are also interested in the forward. The Turkish side have already submitted a formal proposal to Sancho, while the reigning Italian champions and the German giants have also made an offer to the player. Yeah, I think he'll do way better there in Turkey. Doesn't seem fit to play in the Premier League. The Turkish side have already submitted a formal proposal to Sancho. Okay, so that means that they are obviously leading the race. Sancho is comfortable playing on either flank, and considering Arsenal have been exploring the possibility of signing a new left-sided forward, he could be an option to add depth in the front line. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I'll play Martinelli over Sancho any day, and that goes for Trossard as well. Although the 25-year-old previously showcased his qualities for Dortmund, he has failed to prove his worth in the Premier League in recent years. Moreover, there are question marks whether he possesses the necessary mentality to flourish at the highest levels. Therefore, it would be a huge surprise if the North London club eventually make a concrete approach to secure his services. Arsenal would be better off going for other options to strengthen in wide areas. Yes, absolutely. So there we have it. We're also interested in another waste of time, with all due respect, Jadon Sancho. Now for some good news. The Daily Cannon reports that our star boy Miles Lewis Skelly, look at him there, what a legend, absolute monster at his age, Probably the best in the world. If not now, definitely in a year or two. Miles Lewis Skelly has put pen to paper on his new contract, according to reports, with only Arsenal's official announcement still pending. Yes. Well, we signed Zubimendi 5 months ago. That hasn't even been official. So maybe we'll get confirmation of this extension from Lewis Skelly by December. Charles Watts reports on his YouTube channel that Miles Lewis Skelly has signed his new Arsenal contract, getting his photo shoot done at London Colney on Monday. Look at you. Watts adds that he doesn't know when the contract will actually be officially announced by Arsenal, but the deal is done. Thank you for reporting that for us, Charlie boy. The same journalist had initially broken the news that the contract had been agreed in principle last week, adding that Lewis Skelly was always keen to stay at the club. Of course, that boy is Arsenal through and through, just like my other favourite, Ethan Nwaneri, which in my opinion, I would rather play him instead of Martin Odegaard, but that's just me. I can see a situation developing here in the next year or two where Nwaneri is most likely going to leave because of game time, not getting enough game time. Anyway, back to the article. Back to Miles Lewis Skelly. At the time, David Ornstein also confirmed for the Athletic that Lewis Skelly was close to signing a new deal, reporting that the contract would make the youngster one of the world's best paid young players. And by God, he should be, because he is a mammoth on the field. Ornstein wrote that Mikel Arteta was vital to the renewal, with Watts reporting that Andrea Berta was the one actually leading the talks. So it was a joint effort to get it all sorted. Yes, at the moment, Charles, it seems like Andrea Berta, that's the only thing he can do in connection with a striker. Lewis Skelly himself was represented in negotiations by his mother, Marcia Lewis. Thank you very much for that, Marcia. The Arsenal faithful, the Gooner Brigade, loves you for it. Thank you very much for that. The 18-year-old made 39 appearances for the Arsenal first team in the 2024-25 season, despite starting the season in the under-21s. He's set for a lot more where that came from in the coming campaign. Absolutely. He's definitely our number one in that position. I'll play him any day over Calafiori, who we actually signed as a centre-back. And I think he is actually a centre-back by trade, if I'm not mistaken. So why would we put him on the left? Absolutely, we should be keeping Calafiori as backup to Gabriel and Saliba instead of Jakub Kiwior, in my opinion. I think Calafiori's got a much, much higher ceiling than Kiwior does. Kiwior, in my opinion, should not be at the club at all. All right, so let's see what we got next year. Football 365 reports Arsenal decide to pull plug on transfer for one reason, amid details on Berta's internal message. Come on, Berta, don't screw up. You just got here. According to reports, Arsenal have decided to pull the plug on a deal with a European giant after sporting director Andrea Berta sent a message. The Gunners are yet to make a summer signing, but they are closing in on a couple of deals, with Chelsea goalkeeper Kepa Arrizabalaga reportedly set to be their next significant arrival after Martin Zubimendi. Significant is a strong word there by the journalist. I do not believe that is a statement of intent, signing a goalkeeper that is probably not even as good as what we have in our youth league. These will be useful additions, but they are still working on priority deals for striker and winger after they were toothless in attack during a disappointing 2024-25 campaign, finishing second in the Premier League for a third consecutive season and failing to win any major silverware. But yet, we are now wasting our time twiddling our goddamn thumbs and we're going to let Liverpool sign our target striker when we've been talking to him for weeks, months. An absolute. If Liverpool sign Gyökeres before us, it will be the biggest disgrace that I've ever seen. And yeah. Anyway, back to the article. There were a couple of updates on Arsenal's pursuit of a striker on Tuesday night, with a huge bid to be submitted for Victor Gyökeres while they play a game of chicken with RB Leipzig over Benjamin Sesko. Right. So when they report that Arsenal's making a huge bid, in the previous article that we went through together, we saw that Sporting are looking for £68.1 million. So Arsenal's huge bid would most probably be £65 million. Just short of what they actually want. And then Liverpool's going to be like, okay, well, we'll just give you 69 million. Or we'll just match what you want, 68.2 or 68.1. We're taking the piss here, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, back to the article. Arsenal are also looking to land a new winger as they have become overly reliant on Bukayo Saka in wide areas, with Real Madrid's Rodrigo and Athletic Bilbao's Nico Williams as mooted targets. Well, we all know Williams has his eyes set on going to Barcelona, so that's a waste of time. The new winger is reportedly likely to compete with Gabriel Martinelli after he endured a subpar campaign in the 2024-25 season, but it has also been suggested that the Brazil international could leave. Well, I wouldn't like to see him leave. I'd rather sell Trossard. Over the weekend, a report claimed Bundesliga champions are discussing a move for Martinelli as they are scouring the market for a new winger, while the Gunners have set their asking price. I think it was rumoured to be around £50 million. However, a report from Football Insider insists Arsenal have decided to pull the plug on a deal involving Martinelli, thank God, despite him being a target for Bayern Munich. Okay, so looks like that's all the important parts. When Andrea Berta took the helm as sporting director, the message to Martinelli was clear. As a valued contributor to the first team, Arsenal expect him to stay. Martinelli is happy at Arsenal and has 2 years remaining on his current deal, with the club holding the option to trigger an additional year until 2028. Of course, things can change quickly in a transfer window if an attractive buyer came in for Martinelli at an appropriate price, especially one that enabled Arsenal to land some of their top targets, then Arsenal's position could shift. I think that is a stupid idea. A 23-year-old that's been playing at the club for years, that knows the system inside and out, knows what Arteta wants from him. He might not be the best going forward, but definitely tracking back when Arsenal are not in possession of the ball, one of the best I've seen. His defensive work is almost equal to what he can do with the ball at his feet. Sports Witness reports Arsenal table offer for Premier League midfielder, rejecting Gunners' bid, risks keeping an unhappy player. Which player are they talking about here? On Tuesday, claims from the UK stated Arsenal could consider a move for Brentford's Christian Nordgaard this summer. This has reached the Danish press and specifically Bold, who state the Gunners are keen on securing the midfielder's services. Arsenal want to make the Brentford player an important part of their midfield next season. They state Mikel Arteta's side have sent an offer to Brentford for the 31-year-old. It's a large $1 million bid. What does that mean? Without providing the details, and the Emirates club hope to finalize an agreement with the Bees. Okay. So, there we have it for today. I also know for a fact that I did read another article earlier I just forgot to bring it up here. But Newcastle have also now they're trying to give Alexander Isaac a new contract worth more than £150,000 a week, which would make him their top player, the highest paid player at Newcastle. Now, I don't know if the hierarchy at Newcastle are a bit slow up there, because most top teams can pay him more than what they can in any case. But it's the thought that counts, I guess. In any ways, that's the main news headlines for today. If anything else comes out, I'll be sure to share it with you guys tomorrow. And let's keep praying. Let's keep our fingers crossed that we can actually just table a £70 million bid for Victor Gyökeres. At least we can get someone in the front door worthwhile. I know we got Zubamendi, but this goalkeeper that we're signing, Kepa, is not exactly an eyebrow raiser. And neither is Nordgaard, a 31-year-old. But in any case, yeah, let's try and be positive and trust the process, Gooners. Yeah, over and out. We'll see each other tomorrow.